There's a word in Korean, 인연. It means providence or fate.
All right, so we're back, and I'm going to talk about Past Lives today, which is my favorite movie of the year so far. I was extremely moved by the whole thing. Really, when I went to see the movie, I didn't expect to be like this impacted by the movie, and it just totally hit me because I think we can all connect in some ways with the story. So it feels very personal in some kind of way. We all have those what ifs moment in our lives where we're thinking like, what if we went a different direction, how our life would be. And there's some people in our past that also like we sometimes think of, and I feel like this is why Past Lives work so well. It was such an emotionally disarming and moving odyssey through love with a powerful cinematic language. I was extremely moved by it. There's a certain poetic nature to it with extremely like powerful quiet moment. Just fantastic film overall. I was very impressed by the fact that it was Celine Song's first feature film, because it shows a level of maturity that you don't often see in movies, especially modern movie, because I felt like the emotions in the movie were really sincere, and it's a movie that takes its time, and for that reason it's extremely rewarding by the end. So that was just my quick thoughts on the movie, but I want to talk about the eyes of Past Lives and the way that the eyes between the characters and us as an audience are connecting throughout the movie. And I feel like it's being reflected in one of the first shot when she's Nora, she's at the bar and kind of like breaking the fourth wall and looking at us as an audience member, and we have those two people who are talking, trying to speculate what's the relationship between those three people sitting at the bar, which are our main characters. It's just create a certain connection and a triangle that you see a lot throughout the movie. There's also a lot of shots of people looking at the camera or at the viewer. It makes you empathize with them, and it creates that feeling of sadness that you can experience. Well, sometimes it's love, sometimes it's sadness, but a lot of those feelings are being reflected through the eyes of the characters, and it's how they're facing the screen at times, just looking at us, and whether it's during those Skype calls and everything. I feel like so much is being conveyed through the eyes of the characters in that movie. So there's that very important scene when the characters, they finally meet there in New York, and they're just sitting in front of a carousel. I really love the look that they're giving to each other, but it's also how it engages us as an audience member, because the first thing that happens is a Sung looks at Nora and she's not looking, but then as he turns back, she takes a look at him, and then they both they give each other a look. But it's just that sequence of you're looking at a song, and then as he turns to her, you're looking at her, and then she turns to him, and you're kind of like very engaged by all those looks that they're giving to each other. But it's also so powerful with the distance that you have between them. They're finally meeting, but they're just enjoying that moment, that quiet peaceful moment, and you can hear the carousel behind. It's so powerful. And then they have this very important discussion, and she's just asking him the question like, why did you look for me, which is very great. But and she said, why did you look for me? It's also something about the eyes. I don't know, I just felt like this movie is filled with those powerful quiet moments. But honestly, also a giant thumbs up to the use of its environment. Like, it's completely transcendent how they use the locations in the city, because at the end of the day, one of the theme of the movie is the distance that they have between them, and you can feel that through their city. So sometimes it's with the rain. So when a song comes to New York, it's extremely rainy for the whole week, and it also allows Celine behind the camera to give those really poetic moment with the rain, and with the depth of field, and also with the shadows and everything, and how it expressed their feelings, because there's those moments when they start talking to each other, and you can see the environment around them getting warmer, as you can feel. Maybe it's to convey in some way like their heart are getting warmer as you meet someone and you're getting some feelings. But you feel that when they're Skyping for the first time, she's in a library, you can see all those orange light, and as they're starting to talk, it's the same thing with a song. They're all surrounded by orange, which is a color, very warm color. But then there's a switch during the movie where Nora starts realizing it might not be a healthy relationship that they're having. So she wants to take a break, and it's all reflected in a shot just before she tells them they need to stop talking. But it's a very simple shot. They're just like looking at a window, and you can see the window turning from orange to a cold blue, bluish color, and that's something that you can see throughout the color palette in the movie, and just to showcase how those brilliant details sometimes they unconsciously affect us while we watch the movie, because you're just I don't know, I was just hypnotized the first time I saw the movie, but I could tell like how how deep this movie was behind the camera, and just talking about also that the depth of field. There's so many interesting stuff in it. So I'm sorry, I was talking about the eyes, but I also want to say some things about the colors and how the movie affected me visually, because I feel like it's the best movie of the year. Well, it's my favorite. It's not like it's just my opinion, but it's my favorite movie of the year. And the moments of silence are also very important in the film. You can see that in the first act, for example, when Nora and A-Song are just walking as kids in Seoul. So they're just walking together, and he knows she's going to be leaving, so they just have this very quiet walk, and it's being reflected in the future later on in the movie at the end, when she's walking him to his Uber as he's gonna be leaving, and they're not talking, but it's so important, and it's so moving at the same time. When they're alone with each other, it becomes very romantic, especially at the end. They're just turning and taking that little moment just to embrace their final moments, because it's kind of like a goodbye that they're telling each other. So they just look at each other in the eye. Yeah, I feel like I'm repeating myself, so I'm just gonna end it here. But Past Lives, seek out and watch it. A powerful movie, and I love how they played with the highs and the look in that movie.